Hello and welcome to the video. In today's video, we're going to do a little recap of my past weekend, which involved traveling to Bloomington, Minnesota for the 26th annual NNL North. It's about a 4.5 hour drive for us. We go up on Saturday and spend the night, show Sunday, come back on Sunday. So it's a nice way to break up the drive time as well as allow us a little shopping time on Saturday, which is always good. I don't have any local hobby shops to me, so being able to sneak into some hobby shops, resupply, is always a nice treat. And then of course we'll cover everything that happened at the show. But before we get into that, I do want to say a few weeks back, I was looking at kind of re-upping my shop cards. I don't have a high demand for my shop cards, so I decided to go with a business card size, a little easier to leave on the tables. And we got the same logo on the one side with all the social media spots there. And then on the reverse, we decided to throw some of my builds up there, kind of a little reminder, and show off some of our builds that may not be on the tables at that time. So a neat little card, kind of happy with how they turned out. I've got plenty of those if you want one of those, or they're always at the tables. And while I was on there shopping, I seen that they had t-shirts, and I've had several comments of people that miss me at the shows, things like that. I don't show my face a whole lot on my channel, so maybe not so familiar to many people. Kind of focus on showing my build. So I decided to make up some t-shirts with my logo and a permanent name tag right there on the front, so it's easy to find me. And then on the back, we want the same kind of shop card and social media info on the back. Again, an easy way to identify me, a little self-promotion, I guess, mixed in. So that was definitely a kind of responded to item. A lot of people were able to catch up with me on Sunday, but we'll get into that when we get there. Well, let's talk about Saturday. Again, travel up in the morning, get there around lunchtime, and head to the hobby shops. Like I said, just after the supplies, kind of the annoying stuff that is hard to ship in for a $5 item here and there. So main things that we picked up some Tamiya glue. We got a couple of their cements there. Definitely enjoy using the Tamiya cements. Picked up a can of the black spray primer. I've got plenty of the whites and grays. Nice to throw in a black for a quick little prime job there. And then a few of the other pieces is just the evergreen styrenes, a few miscellaneous pieces that we can use for some scratch building. And then seen this, I'd never seen this before. It's a little odds and ends pack. I needed a few of the sheet styrene. Notice this, it's got a nice assortment of the flat sheet styrene, as well as I noticed there, you can see that yellow poking out. That clear yellow, I think we can throw into some gassers, so I decided to pick that up. Looks like a really nice bundle for our needs. Nice little variety there for everything. So that was Scale Model Supplies in St. Paul, Minnesota. And then run over to Hub Hobby there. We picked up a couple of the Vallejo metal colors. We've got magnesium and the exhaust manifold. I've got a few of their other colors. So far, I've really enjoyed using these Vallejo acrylics. They go on nice, quick drying, things like that. So picked up a few more for the arsenal. A little more glue. We got the Gold Plus, looking for some nice glue that's a little bit slower than what I use. I use the Loctite brands, which is really nice. I like their thin and their gel. So just adding another one that's kind of, I think will be in between there will be nice. Another thing we come across was this Tamiya masking paper. It's just kind of like a full sheet of what would be like their tape, so that we can kind of cut out our own designs on this and use that as our own stencil. So I think that'll come in handy for some of our custom painting. And the last two things we picked up are the Tamiya sanding sponges, some 3000. I have not tried any of the sanding sponges, so I figured we'll give one of those a go. Same with the Detail Master polishing cloths. This one is a 6000 grit, so we can get into some of that finer stuff. I've got plenty of the automotive grade that gets us up to like the 2500 series, so a couple of the finer ones to give a try to. So that was pretty much most of our shopping on Saturday. Well, that leads us into Saturday evening, which I was invited to a little dinner gathering by Rod, who's from the Winnipeg area and modelers. There's a few of the Canadian guys there and some of the RPM guys. A few guys just getting together for dinner. That was a fantastic thing. I really appreciate you guys inviting me to that event. It was great to just sit down and just hang out with some model guys, hear some stories. It was a really good time, and thanks again for that. So that wraps up our Saturday. Now time for Sunday. Of course, get up Saturday or Sunday morning, grab a bite to eat, we'll run through the drive-through, then take off to the show. Hang out in line. We got there right at like 10 o'clock on the dot, maybe 20 minutes or so waiting in line to get through the doors, register, get our stuff on the table. And I brought in with me 4 models this year. I brought in the small scale Continental. I brought in my little Trog Racer, the 34 Ford pickup. We brought in the 50 Ford convertible and the 60 Apache from the Buddy Build with Sean. We just squeaked that one out just before the show. Even put on the last couple of pieces Saturday morning before throwing it in the tote and into the car. So that one just made her by the buzzer, and happy it did. Now that we got everything registered and set up on the tables, it's time to venture out, hit up the vendor areas. Great vendor turnout this year. Plenty of new kits on the tables for your choices. They don't have such a huge swap meet area like I'm into. I like the parts and the vintage stuff, but there's still a great little selection of everything from 3D printed stuff, aluminum stuff, new kits, some old kits, a little bit of parts and pieces. So there's a little bit for everybody and a great little selection there. So it's always good to see a full turnout on the vendor area while wandering around. Of course, running into people to have conversations with, talking about the events and builds, things like that. And that is the number one thing about going to these events, is having those interactions, meeting up with those people that you're friends with on Facebook or Instagram, anywhere online, things like that, to be able to have those conversations, or just people you meet at the shows every year. So again, building that friendship and relationships, always the best part about the shows. So whether you enter or not, make sure to get out to your shows and just have a little bit of a social time in kind of our solitary hobby is always important. But kind of venturing off to the vendor area, like I said, I'm not looking for a whole lot of kits, kind of hunting for those special kits that I was after. Couldn't find much. We did run into the swap meet area with a few parts. We did pick up a few bags off of one table. Started off, we got just a bag of the screws for like the screw bottom stuff. Can't exactly source those new, so to have a little supply is nice. We got a nice full bag of miscellaneous mirrors and spotlights, things like that. Inside mirrors, outside mirrors. Nice to have a little supply of those in case you lose one, knock one off, things like that, to have some backups. And then last is a little bag of animals. These are the AMT little stuffed animals, so adding those to the collection is nice. We did get one other thing. Picked up a set of Mopar rally wheels. I know Eric over at Eric's Model Garage has been looking for a few sets of Mopar wheels. Grab those, see if you can use them. If you can, they'll go his way. If not, we can always find a Mopar to add those to. So we got a few pieces there. Like I said, I wasn't looking for a whole lot of kits, but I did finally purchase a kit, and it was the Fireball Dragster. Maybe not the most popular, definitely not the most detailed kit. I do believe this is 50s tooling, so pretty simple kit, but the main reason I was after it is for those rear wheels, and that's for a replica build. So we can obviously steal those, throw in some different ones. Have a nice little quick build here with the Fireball Dragster. Love the old school dragsters, so happy to check that one off the list. And again, just kind of spending the day chatting with people. I met at least a dozen people to have conversations with. Again, people from the local club there, guys from online, from the Facebook, a few Facebook friends, a few Instagram friends, things like that, and just general public that happen to catch you and want to talk to you about your model or their model, things like that. Always a great experience. It's a long show, but it always seems like it runs too short. And one of those things, it's a long day that always ends too quickly. But as far as other things, we did enter a raffle. They have a wonderful raffle there. They have dollar tickets and $5 entries. Guys like Iceman Collections had like the Uncertain Tea there. They had the little Flintstone thing in the $5 auction. There's a large scale Mustang, things like that in the $5 kit. So threw some money in the $5 and the $1 just to support whether I win or not. Kind of helps things out there at the show. But I did happen to win in the dollar raffles. We picked up a couple of nice kits. First one is the Revell 68 Firebird. I know a lot of guys have been excited to see this one hit the shelves. I did not have one in the stash, so I do now. You can see the raffle ticket on the end, but a nice one to definitely add to the stash for sure. And the other one is another nice kit, another new kit that's recently come out. That's the AMT Unibody Ford pickup. Do have a couple of these, but it's nice to always have another. Can find a different way. We can build a camper version, we can build a custom version. We can always do something with these pickups. So I picked up two really nice kits off the auction table, or the raffle table. So it kind of gives you an idea of how well this event is run. And now on to the last and final thing, is that awards. End of the day, awards time. And did I win anything? Well, yes, I did. Surprisingly, I did pull a top 10 at the event. There was so many fantastic builds there. This was quite a surprise there. I know there's a lot of conversations about my paintwork and things like that, but to be honored and recognized by your peers is always definitely an honor, and thankful to win one of these top 10s. Again, it's just a nice peer appreciation thing. That's always a nice thing there. And that award was won with the 60 Apache pickup from the Buddy Build. I haven't even done a final video on that. Like I said, I just put the last pieces on Saturday before throwing it in the tote and taking off to the show. So I guess it's a good thing we got that one knocked out into the show, as it did pull some hardware. And not only that, it pulled a second award, and that was for the Best 60s Pickup. This is a club award that they kind of choose their own version or whatever they want in the category. We got a separate category for their theme awards. So pulling a second award with the same pickup is pretty darn impressive. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It looks fantastic. Definitely catches your eye on the table, but super thankful to be recognized by the club and the other peers at the show with the award. So very thankful. Had a great experience with the awards, and like I said, I went there with 4 kits and left there with 0 kits because I had a senior moment at the end. I guess I packed up before the awards and just kind of slid them back under the table while we waited for the awards. I didn't want to run out to the car, miss the start of the awards or something like that as I was recording it, so just slipped it back under the table. And then with the surprise of the awards, things like that at the end, doing things out of order, I left my kits there at the event. So my kits are currently 4.5 hours away in Minnesota still, hanging out. Luckily, they were found. They were left at the event. Nobody picked them up and walked away with them. So they have been recovered by one of the local club members, and I will have to travel up midweek this week and pick them up. So I've got a little extra road trip planned for this event. Thankful that they were found unharmed, things like that. So it was a terrifying little 24 hours, will you say, knowing that the doors were locked. I couldn't get to them and didn't know where they went. It wasn't until the next evening that they were tracked down, located, and picked up. So again, quite the adventure. A huge mistake, but turns out no harm, no foul in the end. So I had quite the eventful event. Winning the awards is definitely an honor. Leaving my models behind is something that will be unforgettable. Likely not to make that mistake again. So warning out there, make sure you got everything before you leave the events. And with that, hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the video on the coverage. And with that, we'll see you next time.